Good morning. I am in Dallas, Texas, and I'm here to get some stem cells. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what I can show you, but I'm really excited to do this. Something I've been interested in for a long time, and I'm gonna share what I can share. So I'm heading there now. I just landed this morning, me and Miss Capra, and we're heading to the clinic now. And how I found out about this was that inside network, if you know what I mean. But I'm gonna find out what I can share when I get to the clinic, and then hopefully all of it, because it's something I'm interested in, and I want to tell you guys because I think there's a lot of benefits in that. We gotta go.
So Nick, basically Warrior Vitality, we're partnered with them and we're just looking to help veterans. Our product is called Infinity Cells. They're derived from the human umbilical cord blood. Okay, these are cells that God used to build you that we now can use to rebuild you. They don't understand the language of disease. They don't get it. Yeah. They don't know what it is. Okay, all they know is degeneration, inflammation, and immune dysfunction. So it doesn't matter if it's the repetitious trauma from carrying a pack hundreds of miles, that's twice your weight or half your weight,
right?
Or if it's blast trauma that caused oxygen shifts in your brain, or it's something that you inhaled that we had no idea was going on. All those things create damage and inflammation and immune dysfunction. So you come home and the medical world basically is designed around a diagnosis. Okay, so they want to know what you have. What you have is degeneration, inflammation, and immune dysfunction.
You don't even know me, and you just named all the things that I have a problem with.
But see, that's the key. That's why Infinity Cells are so amazing, because there's nothing in medicine like this. They actually have this thing called Paracrine Signaling, and your body is programmed to call them to where they need them.
Okay.
So it's like a heat-seeking missile. It's like something that's pre-programmed to be able to know where to go and become what your body needs it to become. So all we're doing is we're putting a supplementation of stem cells in your body that were designed to grow a body. Okay, they're donated healthy mom, healthy baby, live birth, donated cells, birth in the US from FDA registered and regulated labs in the US. Now, it's worked. I've been doing this with patients for 4 years and we've seen miracles. But I got to tell you, the first thing you have to do is you're not your diagnosis. You're not. Okay. Right. Now, the system is designed to do disability and things based on that. So it's kind of necessary.
Right.
Because the way the system is to categorize you, but you're Nick. Okay. The cells don't understand any of that language. They're just going to go in your body and start to repair, restore, and rebuild, whether it be brain tissue, muscle, tendon, organ, lung, heart, skin. It can become anything, okay? So it is, in my opinion, the most powerful thing that we have available. It is changing the face of medicine, and I think nothing better than to be able to give it to our military, who your body's been put through everything,
right,
beyond, and then come back with what you have. We know, for example, that blast injuries cause oxygen shifts that cause scar tissue in the brain that can lead to things like post-traumatic stress. I never call it a disease or a disorder. It's a trauma.
Yeah.
That's why it's traumatic. The second word is traumatic.
Right.
So it's stress from trauma. What is trauma? Degeneration and inflammation. See how that works? So it will even help repair the traumas that you have, body, soul, and mind, because we know that you spiritually and emotionally, we know that emotions can cause physical scars.
Right.
Well, you guys have a lot of that you see. So it can go in and start to repair, restore, and rebuild. What we expect is you to see change within 4 to 6 weeks. I know you've probably talked with some of your buddies, and they're already seeing changes sooner than that.
Yeah.
We want to always under-promise and over-deliver.
Right.
So what that means is we want you to look at 4 to 6 weeks to start to see change. If it's earlier, it's grace and it's icing on the cake.
Right.
Some take later. Personally, I was in a car accident, herniated discs in my back and my neck, numbness, tingling, all that stuff. I'm a chiropractor, so by the way, I don't deliver the cells, the medical team does. It's not in my scope. But imagine that, a numb-handed chiropractor.
Right.
So I did stem cells, and it took almost 2 months for mine to do what we wanted. But we're committed to help our veterans. Honestly, our mission is literally not only to just take, and initially right now we just have a certain classification that we get to help. My goal, honestly, is I believe that our government, every time you come back from a tour of duty, you should have stem cells to combat
Yeah, I agree.
what you don't know. Just imagine your body instantaneously fighting and recovering from something. Heck, let's do it before and after.
I always think about it like the timing on the car. Like the sooner you can fix it, the less expensive it is, and the more you let it go.
Right. You put a new set of tires on a car and the car's not aligned. The tires look great for a while, but after a while you're gonna be running on flex. Right. So tell me what your struggles are, and then I can kind of earmark what your expectations can be.
Oh man, I did have a TBI. I went to a brain clinic for that. Saw good results, but at the end of the day, it's still kind of it's an ongoing recovery process, right? Physically, inflammation, degeneration. So degenerative disc arthritis, right? They said it was degenerative arthritis, something like that, in my spine. Both shoulders, right a little bit more. Both hips are, I don't know, messed up. The VA is wonderful for all this too, by the way, for taking care of this. But what else, babe?
I mean, probably like you said, it's so much so that like he's got if he's not on top of recovery therapy, like if he's not in the hot tub every day, stretching every day, in the gym every day, doing things apart. Then he can't move.
Yeah.
So this week has been exceptionally hard for him because he's been sick. And he went into the doctor yesterday to actually get on some meds.
Yeah. So with that I always get this, and I really do believe it's from Iraq. I get this lung thing every
walking pneumonia.
Basically it turns, if I don't handle it, it turns into walking pneumonia. And I've obviously been an athlete. I've never been somebody that had a problem with my lungs, but that started to happen.
So that happens. When that happens, he can't do
I think
all this
you're next
stuff.
level. I'll disagree with that because we got athletes, we got professional athletes, and then we have you guys. So well, and again, why now? Based on what you've learned from me, if it's the lungs, it's why IV is so great. So cord blood, the government wants to have minimal manipulation and homologous use. Minimal manipulation means, and some military were traveling, getting their own blood spun and taken, or the fat cells and then their own stem cells injected. The problem is you don't know how many cells you're getting. As we age, our cells significantly decrease and decline. We start with 1 in 100,000. By the time we're a teen, they're 1 in I've got the numbers off now. See how that is? And I'm on video too. 1 in 10,000 when you're born.
Okay.
There it is. And 1 in 100,000 by the time you're in your teenage years. So what it means is that's a lot of stem cells, but we blew through all those to build our structure.
Yeah.
Now, right about then, probably for you, depending on how many tours you've done, you went overseas.
Yeah.
So you were a tank, and then you get exposed to all this, and that diminishes things. And then trauma, injury, and suddenly you're depleting. And then you add to that vaccinations, whatever you breathe over in Iraq, all these different things. And medicine, there's nothing in medicine that is pre-programmed to become any type of cell. if you think about it, medicine, and thank God for medicine. Medicine's not bad. It's like guns. They're not bad. They're good. But the misuse of medicine can be very adverse. But when you're in pain and you have no other alternatives, what do you turn to? Medicine.
Right.
Well, now there's other alternatives.
Right.
That makes sense?
Absolutely.
So everyone's road to recovery is different, and everyone's driving different cars. And a stem cell therapy is a tank of gas. So, if you're driving, if your road's, up the street in Rockwall, 20 miles away, and you're driving a Prius, you're going to be great in one dose. Mm-hmm. So we're going to watch this. We're going to steward the data. What we need from you is absolutely nothing. This is us trying to help you. We don't expect anything in return. We want to steward your progress and the data so that we can turn this into something that we can give our government and say, here's the results we've seen. And some of it's going to be quite simply medicine changes. And we don't have it all in place yet. We're going to work on some things that's an app where literally it'll hit your phone and you just answer a couple questions, text. And it'll give us data so we in turn can report, here's let's say 100 of our veterans that received cells, and of those 185 of them had significant changes and reductions in medication. Their sleep improved, this improved, this improved, this improved, this improved. Then we can get to getting the rest of the, we'll go to the other veterans. Then, like I said, that's my goal, is that it's just a standard. It's like a vaccine when you go overseas. Yeah. Except it's a boost. We see all these movies. I just watched one. I don't know the name of it, but they're always talking about superhumans, right? Yeah. But it's training and stem cells. Yeah. If you want superhuman stem cells, even the military, or not the military, the NBA. Yeah. A lot of those guys are having cells put in their knees. Why? Because that's the one thing that blows for a basketball player. Right. Knees, elbows, shoulders. Right? Yeah. And they know it's their livelihood. So that's where we want to get to with it. So we have seen patients benefit with brain situations. I had a patient having a seizure in the middle of the cells being delivered because she looked up to the light. As soon as the cells hit, her seizure stopped. So we know it crosses the blood-brain barrier. I will be in communication with you, just checking in on you if you don't mind. No. Probably just texting. If you have any issues. Get as much data as we can get. Right. Well, just even, and that's not the purpose. I just want to know how you're doing. I want to know you. I want you to know we're not a stick and leg clinic. We're here to help.
So I have a question for you. Yes. Are you putting them localized where his areas of biggest issues are? Or? So
here's the great news. It's between you and the medical team. It doesn't really matter. I love IV. And I'm glad you asked that because I didn't finish. Homologous means from the host for the same use. So if it's cord blood, I don't see anything more than the same use as letting your body be the author priority and putting it back in the blood. So IV is a great thing. We can drop some at the front line and put them in, your knees or your back or anything else. And that's what I did initially. Put some in my back where my herniations were from the car accident, and some in IV for my neck because I don't want needles going up here. There's too many nerves. Right. And it worked great. Now I do wellness therapy and I just do IV and I allow my body to be the author priority. So that's really up to you and the medical team. So you will look at your X-rays and the two of you can decide, how are your feet? Oh, they're just messed up. Okay, we're going to scan those too. Okay. The right foot is worse for some reason. Do they have any inserts or orthotics or anything for you? So just envision this. If your arches are dropping every time you walk, you roll like this instead of doing this. Okay. And so what do you think that does to your knees? All right. What do you think that does to your pelvis? Hence why the chiropractic in me goes, we got to look at all this because I can allow infinity cells to help your body rebuild, restore, and repair. But if we don't steward what's going on as well and say, okay, there's a few hiccups here. And we're not really, we're putting a new set of tires on a truck and we're not taking care of aligning it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's where, we do like chiropractic in conjunction, especially if you have knee or back. Okay. I don't know how the VA is doing for you in North Carolina, but here, they send you. It's a fight. And we're getting better, but it's a fight. My associate, Dr. Weeks, he worked at the VA for his internship, and so we know the chiro there. Hey, we need some chiropractic. And then you go out, he goes, yep, and you come over. So look at that. What is success for you? If you were to come away from this in 3 months, and and then I'm going to come back and tell you something else that's really going to blow your mind. But if you were going to, in 3 months, when I call you and say, how you doing? If it was successful, what would you want that to be?
I would be, if I could choose one thing, it would be I wouldn't be in pain. My body wouldn't be in pain. I wouldn't wake up in pain. And then I guess it would trickle down from there, like sleeping better and things like that. But yeah, I just wouldn't be in pain.
Okay. Well, I got to tell you, you come back from the military. I've been in practice over 26 years, and I can take an X-ray of the military, and your discs, if you're younger and you didn't do 20 tours and all that kind of thing, your discs look great on X-ray. Your joints and your bones look great, and you can't move. And some docs go, I don't know. Well, I know what's in there. It's microtraumas and fissures and stuff because your bodies weren't designed to do the training that you do, but it was necessary for you to do what you do.
Yeah.
In other words, you're here so I can fix you. I can't promise you that it'll work on what we want it to work on. What I can promise you, in my opinion, is it is programmed to regenerate, repair, restore, and rebuild. That's what it's programmed to do. Just like your training, you get into the zone, you're programmed to do something, right? And you're going to just do it. There's no deviation, all right? So it will affect something. Your body is the author of that priority. So I can't tell you your back's going to feel better first.
You might know what it needs to do.
Well, yeah, and it might be that you no longer have any lung issues. You start going, and think about it. If you don't have lung issues, you're breathing better. If you're breathing better, you have more oxygen. More oxygen, lower blood pressure. Lower blood pressure, less inflammation. Less inflammation, less pain.
Right.
See how it goes? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to take some x-rays. So the low back hurts the most.
Wait, you said you had one more thing to tell us, though.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
So she's really good.
See, she's good. She's keeping me on task, too. I'm just excited to help. So, your own cells at age 65, you're not 65, but age 65, if you pull the cells, they replicate about every, in a month, let's just put it this way, in 1 month, your own cells at age 65 will replicate to become one cell will become 200 cells. Okay? Not bad, right?
Okay.
An umbilical cord, day 0, ready to build a body cell. Okay? Replicates at such a rate that one cell in 30 days becomes 1 billion.
That's a huge difference.
Now, do you see why it's so much better to use umbilical cord, infinity cells derived from the umbilical cord?
Yeah. Wow.
Why would you want anything else? It's like the super dose.
Right.
Right? And it's not just one. Let's say there's 10 million cells and, viability, they come in and there's in that range. It may be more, it may be a little less. I can't give you a promised number. Let's say 10. 28 hours later, they double. 28 hours. So tomorrow, by the afternoon, you got twice as many. And that happens for 90 days.
Jeez.
That's why I follow up with you for 90 days.
Okay.
Because we're going to track your progress. And then we'll also consider, if it's something where we need to consider more, we may consider that. We're working with the foundation on that.
What can I do to track on my end?
Just keep a log, because here's what's interesting. You know how you hurt, but you won't know how it changes unless you write down everything and then 30 days from now look at it again. It's like watching your kid grow. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, right.
So hopefully you have dramatic changes.
Just keep
small
notes.
Ones, just keep notes.
Yeah.
Just keep notes. And if you do me a favor, medications and things like that, if you notice that you don't need to take your meds as much, because you're probably in a standard and you're afraid to come off from it. And it's probably wise, because you come off all your meds and you're going to create this kind of...
Well, I had a scary situation a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And so I came off a lot of meds, so I don't take much anymore other than holistic.
Well, that's good.
Natural.
So then we already came through that.
Yeah. And they would love to put me back on stuff, but...
Well, I understand why.
They tried to...
They don't have anything else.
Yeah, they don't have a solution. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
that or surgery, and we don't know. We don't even see anything to cut on.
And my new physiatrist straight up said, "Do not do surgery at the VA." And he works for the VA. He was like, "Listen, we're going to work around this."
Well, we're ahead of the game because now you're not as toxic as you were before. So now those cells don't have to go to fight that.
Right.
Well, let's go get some X-rays. What I typically do is low back, knees, and neck.
You peeping?
Yep.
All right. So here's your neck.
Okay.
And curve's decent. The discs fared pretty well in here.
Yeah.
But like I said, you guys, the military go through invisible traumas. It's micro traumas, fissures in the disc, and things that aren't necessarily herniations. But I'm happy with the curve. Most guys don't have that after doing as much as you did.
I've been working on that for some time.
Well, you're doing a great job.
I do that
there.
little, what's it called? The little thing you put in.
Yeah. Good. Keep it up.
Good.
When you're looking at your low back, see this right here is an area of damage, and it's actually built bone there.
Is that my right side?
Yes.
That's where it hurts. Right there.
So part of that's degenerative, but you also have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. S1 is what we call a transitional segment. And what that means is it didn't completely, it fused, but it did it a little bit differently in that it had some transverse processes, hence why I wanted a better film on the lateral. That's not it. So that was the first one. That's the second one. You can see the difference. Now what I'm going to do is flip this and make it an inverted image, and it kind of pops out at you. So here's your spine, right?
Yeah.
This is a little bit not normal, but it's still the bottom of your sacrum, but see how it kind of shifted forward?
Yeah.
And then these are the disc spaces. So the good news is the disc is better than it looked like on the other film, but I do think you had some compression injuries to your bones. See these little concavities?
Yeah.
Or that could be rotation, okay? Now we're not going to see those concavities rebuild with stem cells, but any damage in those discs and things, it's coming in through the vascular system, can go and repair, restore, and rebuild. So, and these little spaces right here where your nerves come out, and so if the disc height is directly correlative to the nerve space, the more compressed the disc is, the less space you have. The more increased the disc is, the more space you have. And that's where a lot of that pain can come from. The good news is, like I said, your knees were fairly decent. We do have early degenerative change in there though, and your kneecaps are a little off to the side, which means we're kind of walking wobbly. That's why I want to scan your feet and see if we've got some things, because I mean it just happens when you jump out of planes that much and you hit, and it's hard for those ligaments to hold in what's called the plantar fascia. Okay, so see how that kneecap, now look at this one though, the left one. Look how far over that kneecap is. Did you ever land on that kneecap? I was looking at this. It almost looked like either you have what's called a bipartite patella or you fractured it at some point.
I mean, jumping off of buildings and walls and through windows, and I mean, who knows?
And you wouldn't probably know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're operating at a higher level. You're not gonna pay attention to that because it's not gonna stop you. But
that's why I was chewing up that 1,600 milligrams, Doc.
I think so. See this kind of line right here, though?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what's called shadowing, but nonetheless, that kneecap is supposed to be sitting way over here. So you got a patellar tracking issue, which means as you walk, so your knee's doing this, it takes the shortest angle, okay? So then that's causing problems here, and it's causing problems here. Look, that's the left, so watch. If your left is worse than your right, then your body torques and twists, and whereas it puts pressure on the right low back.
Ah.
Hence why, chiropractic is a great part of a military person's program. It's because then we can start to align the biomechanical dysfunction while the spine regenerates. And just to put it on video, you would significantly benefit from that, both for your knees and then orthotics too. That way, every time you step, your knee isn't going like this.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm going to scan your feet so you can have that data.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shut the lights off. Ah. All right.
Don't look down.
Don't look down, okay? So it's going to be a little red light first, and then it's going to be a big, bright white light, okay? About 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. turn the light back on, okay? Because
Okay.
they're going to read.
It's sad. I feel like it's sad that I had to come all the way here, like on
I almost forgot
Random.
one of the most important things. I know you were saying
a stand.
It's
Oh,
hard you have to
yeah.
come over here on a work day.
That I had to like come all the way to Dallas on like a random connection through our community to come here, get stem cells, to have a chiropractor tell me the reason why all of my things hurt. And like exactly like, and then diagnose them and look at them and go, this is the reason why this has happened, this is the reason why, which no one in the past 6 years has been able to say. And he just did it in like 2 minutes. I'm blown away. That's sad. It's awesome. It's awesome that there's people out here that actually do care and are putting, you know, the fight forward to take care of people. But it's sad that it's not more widespread.
way back when.
Oh, did
Other
they?
countries have been doing this for a long time.
Oh, so we're just slow.
All right.
Yeah, now some countries don't allow it. Got some people sick,
Okay.
and that's an integrity question within in the lab, not the cells.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you test them for serologic viability, you know, for diseases and things to make sure they're clean. So we have higher standards for that.
Okay.
I gave them to my entire family, so that should tell you something. And I like my family.
All right, let's see your arm. See if you brought some veins with you. Most of you guys have quite a few veins.
I think this one's better, but I'm still bruised over there.
They never go on this arm.
For any reason? Or they
Yeah,
like
maybe-
that one better?
Maybe they're scared. I don't know. Maybe the tattoo. I don't know. But usually they go over here.
Probably they can see that one better.
Yeah.
That's a huge one right there too.
Not apropos, right? Put it right in the tip of this.
It's pointing right where we need to go. Right?
Go right
Your
here.
trident is telling me where to go. All right, we'll stick here. All right, you may get a sweeter, fruity smell or taste as this goes in. And what I'll do after I push this in is I'll use your blood to wash the syringe out essentially, and so you get all the cells. Because if they replicate every 28 hours for 90 days, we want you to have every single cell in there. That equals a lot after 90 days. And that's just what the lab showed. In a body where they're supposed to be, who knows what they do? Hard to track then.
I hypothesize significantly more aggressive in the body. In the natural environment they were designed in. Just imagine in a petri dish it's in growth factors and they're watching those rates. Now put it in where God designed it to be.
Give a similar taste.
But we
to
can't
it,
track that.
Sweet or fruity. Sometimes they
A lot of people have done a lot of different things, and if you ask Raquel, our protocols here are pretty much like no one else. Some used to do IV drips and all this other stuff, and some would add margin and all these other different things because they were putting a needle in. What we found is, why are we adding anything to it? If we want it minimally manipulated, just take the cells and put them in.
That's it.
That's it. Now, within 3 minutes, they've gone everywhere in your body. Cody described kind of a rush, and that's common because your body knows from a frequency standpoint, it knows that something big just happened.
Something new is in there.
Yeah, because it's energy, it's life, and your body already senses those frequencies, and just think that power in there, the energy of those cells is much higher. So your body's like, woo, what is that? You know, and now it's, you know, when I got mine, I could feel it going through my entire body. It was the craziest thing I ever felt.
I don't feel much other than pain
No.
usually.
Well, that's it. Some don't notice anything.
Yeah.
you know, and we'll see.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting between yourself and you know, your friends and things like that, is we're going to track those differences. Remember, 4 to 6 weeks is what we expect it takes just for you to start to see change. So
I'll keep notes. We'll keep tracking things. Yeah.
Cool.
So do you think?
Rest for 24 hours. Some people feel sleepy after they get an IV injection, you know, later that day. But some report they slept their best night of sleep ever after getting it.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, so that's a good added benefit. So
You're telling me to go sleep. Got it. Easy.
yeah, easy, right? And then back at it, you know, after that. Nothing really changes except for just watch the routine use of those anti-inflammatories. So you can take Tylenol, it just doesn't work as well. Right?
Okay.
But Motrin, Advil, Aleve, just try to limit your use on that. If you have bad pain and you have a bad day and you need a dose, by all means take it. It's going to last in your system 6-8 hours.
All right, that's the trip. We're back at the airport somewhere. I'm sure you guys are gonna have a lot of questions. I still have a lot of questions. Just an amazing experience, and I will be following up with you guys about the benefits or how I'm feeling or what my joint space feels like or how my everything, sleeping, overall health, probably in about a month. I want to give it a full month and then another month and then a full 90 days to see how it goes. But huge thanks to the Green Beret Foundation, Warrior Vitality, and dang it, and what was the last one? I just said Achieve Vitality, and the doc, all the guys there were just amazing. It's sad that I had to come all the way to Dallas to find out stuff about me that literally has been going on for 6 years. And but that's part of that whole never quit, never surrender, always forward, is like just keep getting yourself better. Like keep making yourself better. Don't make excuses for why you're not getting better. Go out and seek the help that you need, and experiment and try things. Don't be afraid to try things. So anyways, huge thanks to all of them. I'm gonna be following up with all of them on all of this stuff, and I will keep you guys abreast on how this is going. Thank you. Never quit, never surrender, always forward, and we'll see you guys in the next video.